Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with Paper Stamping again, back with our July 2019 Paper Pumpkin Kit and the alternative projects I have for you. So just a reminder, make sure that you take a moment, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so you'll get notification of future videos. Let's jump into our projects. So I love using the envelopes, and this is when I've used the card base. I use 2 of the envelope liners. So most of the time we get envelopes, they're beautifully lined. We've got all this gorgeous paper that I just love to showcase. So on this one, I've used the inside liner of one envelope and the inside of a second envelope. I used the cut aparts, added some dimension sequins, and then this flap opens up to have a happy birthday there. So that's a fun opening card. And then I've got this one where I again use the card base. In all these projects I brought in very minimal outside supplies besides the actual card kit. So this one I used some crumb cake. So I brought in the crumb cake ink. I used the pieces that are part of the kit. This was the circle that was to go with the sailboat piece. I went ahead and took that, stamped my sentiment, cut those strips off to round them with the circle to come up with another alternative. I love this one. It's very simple, but I just took some of that paper that was from one of the card fronts. I cut it down. The back of that card front had the darker green, so I cut a strip, lined it, used a very thin strip of the dark green to create a border. I used that wonderful seashell stamp in some crumb cake, and then the hello friend, and I cut off that banner to line it up even with the left hand side, and then I can use some of that deeper green that is on the back of the card base to mount that sentiment. This one I again use the envelope liner, and I love this map type of print. The sailboat cut apart, the little wheel that we had in there, as well as some of the linen thread, wrapped that around and popped one of those clouds up on dimensionals. This one was another kind of a fun fold. I took one of the strips of the woven threads paper that was included. I used that doily and used the ink that came in, the Pretty Peacock ink, but again added in crumb cake, and some Whisper White cardstock here. And I created a fun fold with a happy birthday sentiment on the inside. This one I used the little strips that were left over the dimensionals. We had some circle pieces that went behind the wheels here, and that left me with a strip that had these openings. So I took a piece of acetate, lined it on a panel of the woven thread, and then I used my woven thread sequins and some window acetate to pop this panel up with that dimensional and create a fun shaker card. And these are the woven sequins threads, so they're a perfect match because they've got all of those Newton colors in here as well. I took 3 of the little strips and just cut them down. I created banners out of these terracotta tile ones. This one was already a banner, and then I just staggered the sizing on them. I used a small punch and I did a little doctoring of the stamp set. The hello friend, I cut that stamp in half so I could get just the hello. And remember, you don't have to be afraid to do that. Cut your sentiments apart. So I've got now a hello and a friend, and it's very easy for me to line those back up and use them again as a full sentiment, but it gives me a lot of flexibility to be able to use my sentiment stamps separately. This was the 1-inch circle punch, if I didn't mention that already, and then I put a few of the sequins around on that as well. And then I used one of the pizza boxes and one of the envelope liners and just a card back of one of the card bases with that deeper green just to create a fun little topper for this pizza box. And then I used some of the envelope liners to wrap Hershey nuggets to put inside for a sweet little treat. And you could put whatever sentiment you want on there. I chose to leave this one just as a plain box without a sentiment. So I hope that that gave you some inspiration on how you can utilize your paper pumpkin kit and get more out of it by creating fun alternative projects. Again, if you don't have a demonstrator, I sure would appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and I will create a link down below for a Paper Pumpkin subscription as well as a link to my online store. Thanks for stopping by. Until we talk again, grab your paper, Stampin' Ink, and do something creative.